Hi, I'm Steggy from Elgato, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to get the best quality out of Wave microphones. Now, in the world of production, to get the best quality, it's not just about getting the best gear, but also knowing how to use that gear. Now, I can have an expensive camera, like this, but if I don't know what I'm doing, I could have an image that looks bad, like this. And the same goes for audio. Having a great microphone is only half the battle. The other half is knowing how to use it. So hopefully this video will give you some tips on how you can achieve the best quality with your audio. Now, while there are a couple of features and products that are exclusive to Wave microphones mentioned in this video, by and large these tips can help you for any microphone you might be using. Okay, so tip number 1. You want to get the microphone as close to your mouth as possible. Now there are a couple of reasons for this. Number 1 is it reduces background noise. The closer you speak to your microphone, the louder your voice is. The louder your voice is, the louder that audio is compared to the other sounds in your room, otherwise known as signal-to-noise ratio. AKA, you want your signal to be more prevalent when compared to the background noise that exists in your recording space. Think of it this way. The farther away from your microphone you are, the higher the gain needs to be to keep your volume at the same level. And as you raise that gain dial, more and more background noise can be heard. So your goal is to have your gain be as low as possible while still keeping your audio at good levels. The second reason for having the mic close to you is what's called the proximity effect. What this means is the closer you are to your microphone, lower frequencies become more present. So your voice will sound fuller and bassier, kind of like you're on a radio show. So with the mic close up, you have a really nice clean signal and your voice sounds nice and full. In order to get the mic closer to your mouth, you could either use a mic arm, which will lift your mic off your desk and allow you to freely move it into multiple positions, or a more affordable alternative would be to purchase the Wave extension rods, which will make your mic taller and be closer to mouth level. Which brings us to tip number 2, accessorizing your microphone. Now, besides the extension rods that I just mentioned, there are 2 other accessories we currently have for Wave microphones that can help you get better audio quality. The first is a pop filter. What pop filters do is they reduce plosive sounds from words that start with P, T, or B, where if you don't have any kind of filter, you can sort of sound like you're blowing air into your microphone. Peter the Boy streamer thought he'd start a proper Twitch channel after reading about Peter Piper who picked a peck of pickled peppers. Now, make no mistake, both the Wave 1 and Wave 3 microphones have a built-in pop filter which already reduces plosives quite well. But if you want even better performance, the external pop filter will get you there 100%. The third accessory we've made is an anti-vibration shock mount, which essentially suspends your Wave mic, so if you bang on your desk, the shock will dissipate, which results in less audible noises introduced into your audio. Like so. Tip number 3, noise suppression. If you happen to find yourself in an extremely noisy environment when you're streaming or recording, don't be afraid to try out different software noise suppression to try and eliminate the background noise so your audience can focus on you. Now, there are a lot of options out there. We actually have a low pass filter built right into Wavelink to block out low frequency constant background noise. But if you're in, let's say, an incredibly loud environment, we've been extremely impressed by the performance of NVIDIA's RTX Voice, which uses the power of their RTX GPUs to suppress noise while retaining the audio quality of the user's voice.
I have a vacuum enabled. We have RTX Voice off, but with RTX Voice on, it's like magic.
Tip number 4, sound treating your room. If you find that your audio has an echoey quality to it, it could be due to your recording space. Let's say you're in a large empty room with hardwood floors. If you yelled in this room, you'd probably hear an echo, right? Now, that same concept applies here. When there's not a lot of surface area in a room and all of the surfaces are really hard, your vocals get reflected a whole lot and don't dissipate, which can cause that echo. Now, rooms with carpets, furniture, drapes, etc. help dissipate these reflections before they come back to the mic, so you have less of an echo, and you can actually buy some acoustic foam as well, which is really great at reducing echo and increasing surface area in your rooms, and can add a cool studio look to your content creation setup. Tip number 5, setting your gain correctly. Now, this is something that people overlook a lot, which tends to lead to a lot of clipping on stream. If you're using streaming software like OBS, it has numbered audio levels so you can see what number you're hitting. Now, whether you're adding Wave directly to your software or routing through Wavelink, when you speak into your Wave, you want it to be hitting around -9 to -6 dB when it's all said and done. Now, this is when you're speaking at your average volume. Now, if you're louder than this, don't play with the fader in your streaming software or Wavelink. You want to set the gain on your mic, which will get you the cleanest audio. Now, you might be asking yourself, if I'm at the proper volume when I'm speaking, what if I get louder? Well, to create more headroom in case things get loud, one method streamers use is aiming their audio level a little lower at like the -15 decibel range. But this also brings us to our final tip, tip number 6, using Elgato Clipguard. Now, besides just lowering your audio completely to avoid hitting your ceiling when things get loud, what some audio systems allow you to do is set up compressors and limiters so it doesn't reach beyond the point of audio degradation, known as clipping or peaking. But this is quite tedious and sometimes expensive to set up. But with Elgato Wave, it's much simpler. In Wavelink, all you need to do is simply check this box here and you've enabled Elgato Clipguard and you're all set. And even if you weren't using Wavelink, this setting is enabled by default on the mic, so if you plugged it into a computer and for whatever reason can't install Wavelink for that session, you'll still get the benefits of Clipguard. Now, what Clipguard does is, Wave basically listens out for those loud moments and instantaneously lowers the volume or ducks the volume so you don't clip or peak. Now, if you want a further explanation on what Clipguard is, be sure to check out the video in the description panel below where we fully explain what Clipguard does and why you should use it for your stream. Hopefully these tips help you get the most out of your Wave microphone. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. And don't forget to get subscribed so you can catch the rest of our videos and tutorials to learn how to unlock the full power of your Elgato products. Once again, I'm Steggy from Elgato, and until our next video, good luck and have fun.